Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to your weekly bite of MMORPG news, a video series where we go over the latest news, updates, releases, beta tests, pre-registrations, everything that mattered in the MMO genre over the course of the last 2 weeks in one very easy to digest format. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification so you remain up to date with everything that I post. That way you don't miss out on anything. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in because we got a lot to talk about. Avatar Reckoning has been canceled. The Avatar mobile exclusive MMO. To some people, this is going to be horrible news. To many of us, this is going to be fantastic news. The last thing we wanted was an Avatar MMO that wasn't PC or console quality, but was instead focused on the clunky, predatory mobile business model. What is not a good thing is that Soulworker is now transferring their services to Valve. Valve is going to be handling Soulworker henceforth. The studio behind Soulworker that has developed the game for the entirety of the game's existence since its inception is shutting down and is no longer going to be developing the game in any capacity, or at least that's what I've read. Now this might be for the best because I played Soulworker in 2024. I did a dedicated video on that, and the game is completely unrecognizable in its current form. This game needs to die, and Valve is where it will go to do so. Speaking of Valve, Critica Zero, the I think 11th iteration of the Critica intellectual property is has re-released onto its own official Valve platform, and nobody really cared. Nobody cared about any incarnation of this game after the original Critica Online, because every version of the game has just been the original version of the game that nobody liked. I don't know why they're continuing to try and milk this for everything they can. Just let this game die. Nobody wants to play it. Final Fantasy XIV right now is holding their free login campaign. This runs from February 1st all the way through February 21st. So if you've been wanting to play Final Fantasy XIV beyond its free trial, this is your opportunity to. So if you've been waiting to return to the game, then as it states, eligible players can play for a limited time. Also, those outfits are so good, but then, you know, Final Fantasy XIV is kind of known for that. The Zenith VR MMO is releasing a separate version of the game titled Zenith Infinite Realms. This is going to be a free-to-play procedural action-adventure RPG with co-op sessions, which could be very cool. But at the same time, I don't know. One is going to be a co-op RPG. The main Zenith game is an MMO. They haven't really shown or exhibited any ability to make a non-MMO at this point, but I have faith, given from what I've heard, Zenith is actually a fairly decent game. Before we cover any additional games, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon, who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. Now back to the video. NCSoft announced, for whatever reason, that Blade and Soul, Aion, Lineage 2 are coming to the purple platform. The purple platform allows you to play your games, your MMOs, your PC MMOs on mobile devices, which means moving into the future, Aion, Blade and Soul, and Lineage 2 are going to be played by a large portion of mobile gamers. Yeah, that sounds financially very lucrative for them. But at the same time, these are games that are built to be played on a PC. Speaking of Blade and Soul, did you guys know that they're making Blade and Soul Neo Classic, which is an altered version of the original Blade and Soul that they are upgrading to Unreal Engine 4, enhancing and overhauling and re-releasing, which is actually surprisingly something that not really many of us wanted. I have a dedicated video on that if you're interested in learning more. The studio behind Wayfinder is laying off a dozen staff as executives reduce their own pay. And this is surprising because the game still hasn't even launched yet. They launched into early access, took a lot of people's money, and we're supposed to transition into a free-to-play game, but still hasn't, which very concerning, very alarming, especially given its 24-hour peak. This is evidence as to why they've had to lay off staff members. Just release the game free-to-play, and it might survive. Lost Ark has dated their too extreme second anniversary event, which is launching on February 7th, bringing a lot of content. Not nearly as much content, however, as the February 2024 update for PSO2 New Genesis, which has so much. The final part of Chapter 6's main story, improvements and features, updates to the Kavaris region, a level cap increase. Like, there is just so much. I don't know how Sega does it, but I feel like every major update just includes so much content. Chimera Land has announced that they are shutting down, which is surprising because this was one of the most absurd MMOs I'd played, but at the same time was absolutely horrible, and I didn't know anyone that actually played it. Now, this game is shutting down on March, ranging from the 30th through the 31st. If there are any of you left that are playing it, this sucks as news, but I don't think there really is. Throne and Liberty, in Korea at least, will bolster endgame with co-op dungeons, dungeon finder, and less forced content. And you know what? We still don't have a date for global. We don't have a date for additional global beta tests. We don't have any information about Blue Protocol yet, global beta tests, outside of the NDA test that Mrs. STIX and I got to participate in. And it is already February. What is going on, Amazon? And finally, Tower Fantasy is holding a big Evangelion crossover event, and they just released Asuka's character trailer, and they have they had a very strong focus on, a very strong focus on 2 reasons why you should pull for her. Additionally, version 3.6 Beyond Horizons is their 1.5 anniversary celebration, featuring a ton of content. Oh my god, she looks really good. Wait, that looks like AI. Hold on. Wait, that just, to me, I don't know why. That looks like AI generated content. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Yeah. This character, though, her name is Plotty because she is packing a ton of plot. Now, this event is live as of, I think, like the last couple days. If you're interested in playing, if you still currently play, or considering returning. Now, that is it. That is all of the MMO-related news that mattered to me over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you think there's anything I missed, let me know down in the comments below. If none of this was of any interest to you, though, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.